Hey, what's up everybody? This is Justin here to give my thoughts on this game, Like a Dragon Gaiden, the man who erased his name, or known in Japanese as Ryu Ga Gotoku 7 Gaiden, now Kishitotoko. So as you can see here, I have a Japanese copy of the PS4 physical release. And it's also available for the PS5, and I believe it's on Xbox consoles. So I don't know if there's any Xbox copies available physically in Japan. Off the top of my head, I do not see any, let alone see any Xbox products in general. For example, at the Bigu camera near my house, they do not have any Xbox products whatsoever. And whatever Xbox products I see here and there, it's pretty much the selection is wide as pretty much this right here, these two boxes. So I'm sorry. But yeah, for those of you who want a physical copy for the PS4, PS5, the good news is the Japanese versions do have English text. And then when you get around to the Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth demo, the English dub and the Chinese dub are available along with the original Japanese audio, along with text in not just English, but in a whole array of languages, which is really good news if you want to get a physical copy on that scale. And of course, with a PS4 copy, you can automatically upgrade it to the PS5 if you have a PS5 disc system, which I don't plan on getting at least for another 6 months, which will be my 40th birthday by then, funny enough. But yeah, so moving on, as indicated more emphatically in the original Japanese title, Like a Dragon Gaiden is a side story to the original Yakuza Like a Dragon. And if you've played that game, it's you see Kiryu in that game, and you kind of know his situation. But of course, if you've played the end of 6, a lot of shit happened. Now he has to be a government agent. And his codename is Joryu. And this is kind of the interesting thing here. When you look at the kanji for Joryu, the Jo means purify or clean, and the Ryu means dragon. And it's not related to the Kiryu and the Ryu and the Kiryu. It uses a different kanji, which will be another different explanation at a different time maybe. So it kind of means like cleansed dragon, and it's a really good symbolic name in conjunction to where he is within the events of this game. So as you know, he's hired by if you've played Yakuza Like a Dragon, he's hired by Watase, the godfather of the Omirengo, an Osaka-based crime organization, which Kiryu has tussled with on a few occasions. And of course, the game I'm talking about here, The Man Who Erased His Name, of course you get the what in the original Like a Dragon game, while in the Gaiden you get the how, the why, the when, and so on. And yeah, so what it took Kiryu to get to that event in that game, man, he went through a shit ton. That's the most I can say there. And by the time you get to the ending, it's like, whoa, what an emotional roller coaster, man. I mean, it fucking had me crying, of course. But yes, so pretty much if you're a hardcore fan of this series, fucking get it already. If you haven't, damn it, fucking get it already. And if you have, fucking wow. And of course, I've read in some interviews, the development team wanted this to appeal to newcomers. And of course, they throw some, let's say, biscuits here and there, treats, Easter eggs to pay homage to some of the original installments. Of course, original fans will appreciate them. Of course, it does give context to newer players, but hopefully this will encourage newer players to play the original installations before Infinite Wealth comes out at the end of January. So I think that'd be pretty cool if you guys do that. And yeah, the fighting styles. If you're familiar with the original games, specifically 6 and Kiwami 2, the way Kiryu fights in his original Dojima no Ryu form, it's pretty much the same. It's like brawling, he swings wide, there's power, does heavy damage. But this time, considering the context that he's a government agent, he uses martial arts, though not as like emphatic as Yagami, who's more like a kung fu fighter, while with Kiryu, it's more like traditional karate with the way he fights. It's kind of more quick, more compact, swift, and along with his unique technical striking, he has an array of gadgets. For example, he can use drones to attack his opponent. He can use like a cigarette, throws it, and go boom. And then like from his watch, he can throw out a web, get like 5 opponents and like swing them around. And then he has shoe boosters, which I think is pretty cool. And you can just boost and then go through like a whole array of like 10 opponents and then just strike him down like it's fucking bowling. And I think that's really cool. And it'll really help you out when you get to the Coliseum. Yes, this is kind of a thing in original installments, but for this one, the Coliseum not only introduces just one-on-one fighting, but you also get team fighting, which is sort of like the clan creator in 6 and Kiwami 2, but the way it should have been. It's like all-out brawling. And this will give you chances to not level up just you, but your other fighters, and so on. And as for how you level up, it's partially how you level up in Zero. One part is you use money, another part is Akame points. So later on in the game, you team up with an informant named Akame. She's this girl who's played by First Summer Wink, and she speaks, of course, if you speak Japanese, you'll appreciate this more or recognize this more. She speaks in a very heavy Kansai accent, and of course, the original actress, she's a native Osaka, so it's like she has the thickest Osaka accent I've ever heard. And of course, for those of you who are not familiar with the Japanese language, you'll pretty much notice that she speaks in a very quirky way. Maybe you recognize it, maybe you don't, but like the way she's speaking, it's like pure Osaka accent all the way. That's all I gotta say about that. And of course, how you get these Akame points are she gives you side cases. So the side quests are sort of like the side cases as you see in Judgment. So it's like, okay, I got this information here. You got to solve this problem for this person. And sometimes you just don't get them like from her directly. It's like you just pick them up on the street. It's like, hey, I lost my balloon. Can you go get it for me? And it's like, okay, you use your wristwatch, go, psh. And that's pretty much one of the new functions to them. So yeah, the gadgets do have some functions beyond the fighting, but like I wish you could have used the drone more, like how you use the drone in Judgment, and like just like how Yagami can use like a skateboard to go faster. I just wish that the shoe boosters could also be used to make you move faster as well. And one other major criticism I have that a lot of people might disagree with me with, the fight sequences, the cutscenes, fucking needed like 20 times more QTs than it did. It's like they only put a QTE at like this most dramatic moment. It's like this could have been a QT, this could have been a QT, this could have been a QT, this could have been a QT. It's like, fuck, why didn't you do it? I know it's just the Shenmue fan in me that wants it, but fuck. The game needs more QTEs. Okay, so the action, it's like kung fu fighting, and so on. Of course, you can get away with button mashing here and there, but you will have to strategize at times, and you'll have plenty of opportunities to do so. And yeah, so the mini games. Once again, you have the arcades. You can play Sonic Fighters, like in Lost Judgment. You could play Motor Raid, like in Judgment and Lost Judgment. Fighting Vipers, Virtua Fighter, and for the first time ever, Daytona USA 2. But due to copyright issues, I think it's called Sega Classic Racing 2 or something like that. But either way, it's Daytona USA 2, and it fucking rocks. And yes, that is the first ever console release, or the closest thing we'll ever get to a technical console release in regards to that game. And once again, you do get the Master System, like in Fist of the North Star Lost Paradise. That's technically the Mark III. And then also like in Lost Judgment, you're playing the Master System there too. So I never really was nostalgic for the Master System, because by the time I knew what it was, the Genesis was like already hitting its stride, and I was just kind of stuck with that. But for those of you who are nostalgic for the Master System, this is pretty much the console for you. So in addition to the arcade gaming, you also got the gambling again. You got poker, blackjack, and hookers. Nah, just kidding about the hookers, kind of. What else? Traditional Japanese gambling games like Hanafuda, Mahjong, and yeah. So you can win chips or wooden tokens, and then you exchange those for prizes. Some of those prizes could be worth something, or some of those could be goodie items. And of course, Pocket Circuit is back. It was introduced in 0, then you could play it again in Kiwami 1. Yeah, once again, the customizations will be a role. And if you can't find that out, you can find it on YouTube or Google and so on. That's pretty much what I fucking did. And yes, of course, hostesses are back. But this time, the hostess game is sort of like akin to, like, remember how in Kiwami 2, you could do photo shoots with Rina Hashimoto and, what was her name? Hikaru Aoyama. It's something akin to that. You get real-life footage of the actual actresses. Like, for example, the streamer, K-Son, who goes by the name K, is one of the hostesses, and you use actual footage of her to interact with her. And then as the game progresses, you get to interact with the hostesses outside the bar. Like, for example, the infamous, what I call the AV pool. Of course, I think the owners no longer allow pornography to be filmed there, funny enough. But they still do grab your shoots there, from what I know. So yeah, you'll get a kick out of that, I think. And of course, the interactions are pretty much a big thing. And of course, there's also karaoke. Bakami ties back like a butterfly, tonight. And yes, sort of, I don't want to talk about that just yet. So yeah, so after the game ends, you get the chance to play a demo of Yakuza Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth or Ryu Ga Gotoku 8. And there's 2 versions of the demo. There's the story demo, and there's the Hawaii experience demo. So with what's it called? Yeah, before I kind of get into this discussion, I want to disclaim that a majority of my exposure to the franchise has been playing in the original raw Japanese. I tried playing the dub of the PS2 game many, many years ago. My brother's copy is like, after chapter was like, I just really can't get into this. And then, of course, I know that Hokuto ga Gotoku or Fist of the North Star, Judgment, Lost Judgment, and 7 were dubbed. And I've seen some video clips of it on YouTube. I think they're pretty good, but I'm too much of a purist. That's just me. And, I just kind of want to keep my Japanese skills sharp. So that's also why I prefer playing them in Japanese. And I think it's, better for my Japanese learning, kind of, in a really strange way. And, yeah, anyway, I'm aware that they changed Kiryu's voice actor, and, yeah. I think his performance in Like a Dragon, I know they got back the original actor from the original PS2 game to be him in the 7th game. I think he showed a much improvement. I'm glad Sega did that for fans of the dub. I understand why people want a dub. I understand they want to appeal to a wider audience. And I have no problem with that. It's just, I have seen the video of the new actor singing Judgment. He's singing, breaking the law, breaking the world. Yeah, that's pretty much how he sings. I mean, now I sing that just to piss my wife off. Until then, I was making fun of Drake by singing, you think I me and the cell phone. Yeah, that's how Drake sounds like to me. But anyway, it was like, oh God. I mean, this... And I thought I made American Idol rejects sound like Grammy winners. I mean, fuck, maybe I could have played Kiryu. But anyway, once again, you get the demo, the 8th game, or Infinite Wealth, taking place in Hawaii. Once again, it's an RPG, turn-based RPG, but it does add some new elements to it. For example, this time you sort of can move the character around within a certain sphere, though not to the same extent as you would do in, let's say, the original Parasite Eve game or Panzer Dragoon RPG. But it's enough to get the job done. And of course, they introduced a thing called the Infinite Mode, where for the case of Kiryu, if you activate that, you get a version, you can sort of do like a brawling version. So you kind of, yes and no, get the best of both worlds, but you got to know when to do it. And the teaming is kind of worked differently. Of course, where you can find items. You can find items in trash cans now. You can even swim on the beach and find trash and then collect the points for, let's say, what's it called? Plates, like a platinum plate will get you like 200,000 yen or something. So yeah, that's just pretty much it. So for the hardcore fan, this is for you. For a newbie, hopefully this will make you a fan.